You're the ones intent on dying. Run. Run! You're a wonder.
We have to kill Major. Kent! You said you wanted to prove yourself.
Unstoppable as the rain. I am your death. Warworld.
Hi everyone, I appreciate you stopping by the Caption Media channel. The recently released movie Justice League Warworld is another topic I want to discuss. To avoid revealing any surprises, I will simply give you the review, so let's get going. This week's box office success for Justice League was significant. Forbes reports that on Tuesday, the superhero film directed by Jeff Lemire surpassed $500 million. DC's contemporary screen adaptations have always had the vibe of inside joke style comic book films that are mainly inaccessible to the general public, but pleasant to those who know the humour. The most recent entry in the DC animated continuity, Justice League Warworld, emphasises this for better and worse. Conceptually, Warworld is miles ahead of everything else in DC's animated Tomorrowverse up to this point. Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman appear dispersed through time, unaware in the slightest they have left Earth. Great! That premise is really strong. Sadly, an unbalanced framework undermines this premise's potential. Before everything crumbles in the last act, the Super Trinity's first half, in which they must piece together what is happening to them, plays up its mystery more than well enough to hold the attention of steadfast viewers. A Common World that has been a lot of pleasure to follow over the past several years was relaunched and created by Flashpoint for the DC animated universe. Warner Brothers' direct-to-DVD animated productions, which had previously been standalone in nature, began to frequently feature characters' arcs playing out over several adventures, creating the kind of shared universe that the studio has mostly failed to create with the DC Extended Universe. But now that's over, and Justice League Dark Apocalypse War undoubtedly brings this era of storytelling to a stylish conclusion. Once more assembling to face Darkseid, the DC Universe's heroes discover that they are outnumbered and outgunned by the ruler of Apocalypse. After the great majority of them are cruelly slaughtered in combat, it's up to a ragged crew to attempt to stop the villain and save Earth once and for all. The choice to mostly depict the League's defeat through flashbacks is an intriguing one, but isn't always successful because watching those terrible fragments makes it seem like they've been cheated out of 20 minutes of bloody action scenes. Despite how well executed Warworld's fundamental mystery is, it doesn't nearly make up for the mindless, dull action that takes up the majority of the length. These passages, especially near the conclusion, are stale, monotonous and utterly unoriginal. There are only so many times we can watch Batman toss a batarang from the same angles, no less, before we start to feel like the fights could have been more exciting and dynamic. The opening sequence of Wonder Woman's Wild West battle with Jonah Hex is a powerful one, but is the only one that jumps out because the rest of the film is far less creative. Warworld fails to make a convincing transition in its final 20 minutes because it's too busy setting up the upcoming Tomorrowverse film. The story comes to an abrupt finish, leaving spectators wondering, that's it? Sure, by the time the credits roll we have a ton of explanations but no conclusive answers. Warworld fails to meet our needs for something a little bit more than just answers to our burning questions and required action scenes. Jeremy Adams, Josie Campbell and Ernie Altbacker, all superbly talented screenwriters with plenty of experience writing for DC, feel off their game here. The script feels too safe, too perfunctory to stack against superior Tomorrowverse entries. The voice work is mostly serviceable, but it doesn't touch the Tomorrowverse's most inspired performances. Nothing in Warworld will stand out the way Darren Criss and Brett Dalton did as Superman and Parasite in Superman Man of Tomorrow, but the cast gives it an honest go. The best vocal performance in the movie is unquestionably Stanley Katich's as Wonder Woman Diana Prince, but Jensen Ackles and Criss, who are returning as Batman and Superman, respectively, continue to honour DC's most powerful characters. The extraterrestrial Mongol, the main antagonist of Warworld, is hardly the most engaging of the many supervillains seen here in the DC universe, but Robin Atkin Downes gives the part remarkable energy and conviction. But watching that team on a devastated Earth as they make their last stand is exciting, and learning what happened to some characters in this post-apocalyptic world is always entertaining. Despite its uneven structure, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War has a compelling narrative and makes good use of its cast of characters. Is this a legitimate Justice League Dark film? Not much, therefore the appropriateness of that title is debatable. However, characters from that cast of heroes have the chance to shine, with Constantine unquestionably taking the show. Matt Ryan, a star of the Legends of Tomorrow, gets the chance to voice him in this scene and he does an excellent job all the way through. I truly have nothing bad to say about any of the returning favourites, including Rosario Dawson, Jason O'Mara, Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Ronan. But in the end, Ryan steals the show, and we're not sure this movie would have been the same if he hadn't provided the voice of John Constantine, the main character here for the most part. Nothing in here is likely to make you change your mind if you're still not a fan of the animation style, which is still recognisable. When the blood starts pouring out with some incredibly creative killings, it's hard to be too upset by the fact that it occasionally appears blatantly lazy and gives the movie a rushed feeling. When all is said and done, the DCAU's door will be open for a brand new period of stories, and we can only hope that it will fully utilise these characters as the previous one has. Those of you who are fans before or became so during this time will be aware that this is a period that will be difficult to top, particularly following an epic climax like this one. Despite having the stakes, intensity and scope of an event movie, Justice League Warworld lacks the emotional payoffs that would have made it a more gratifying viewing experience. Although it isn't a poor movie, the level of animation is noticeably lower than what we've come to anticipate from DC's animated storytelling. When it remembers to further its own narrative, Justice League Warworld acts as the epitome of the Tomorrowverse. The stakes, intensity and scope of an event movie are all present, but the emotional payoffs that would have made the experience more fulfilling are lacking. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this movie a 6, and I hope that you like it. If you like watching this movie, kindly leave a comment. For additional updates, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell button. See you again soon. Cheerio.
That's why we fight for those that can't. That stands against it anyway. Where on Earth are we? Not Earth. Something isn't right. To find a way back.
Yes.
She's an angel. Come to save us all.
We have to kill them before they kill us. It's the only way to stop their invasion.
Evil is as unstoppable as the rain. Where on Earth are we? Not Earth. Warworld.